Hi, this is KG, and today we're going to do an unboxing and first brew of an AeroPress. Now this is the latest AeroPress before the clear one came out, I believe. This is it, this is the box. Seems like a small enough box. Get it open. This is like the little wand to store the coffee. Comes with a measuring cup or spoon. And then we have the brewer, the top part of the brewer, the plunger, and we have the manual. This is the bottom. That's it. Comes with a few filters here inside this. Yeah, there you go. These are the filters. I think they are 50 or so. So there's not much to assemble really. Just basically plug the cap here. Put a filter, paper filter they provide in the package in here. I believe this is what gives it the balanced taste because it filters out some of the oils and leaves it less acidic. So just screw this on, it goes in a little bit, and then you screw it up, and then this plunger just kind of goes in here. And that's it really. So you just basically pour your coffee in here, pour some water, and then just let it sit at this point here for 4 or 5 minutes depending on the recipe, and then you plunge down slowly into your glass. So simple as that. So we'll do that next, but I just want to say a few things on this particular model. This is the one that came out right before the current clear one. The latest one is the clear one, which basically just clear glass so you can kind of see the coffee bed more clearly. And I believe the only other difference between that clear one and this one is this is a BPA free plastic. That one is as well, but that one's, I think it's called Triton, which is basically also BPA free, but it's a little bit more, I guess, shatterproof. I'm not sure if there's any other differences between that one, the clear one, and this one. They do also have another one that came out, which is the XL version. That's basically a bigger version of this to make more than just one glass of coffee. Now I'll just share with you a recipe that I'm going to use. This is my first time making it with this, so bear with me, but we'll try to use that recipe and see how it tastes, and then compare it with my pour over method. So by the way, this pour over method is a percolate type of method where you percolate the water using a pour over technique into a filter and into the glass, whereas this is more of an immersion type method where you immerse the coffee, which is in this AeroPress canister. You immerse that by filling it up with water, so the coffee is actually just immersed in the water for X amount of time, and then you pour that out. So immersion brew versus percolate method. So here we go. I'm going to use a recipe. It's called the inverted recipe because you have a paper filter here, which is somewhat porous. When you pour the water at the coffee bed in this, and then you just let it sit here, sometimes it starts dripping. And we don't want that. We want to make sure everything is fully immersed and completely extracted. The coffee is completely extracted by the water before you start dripping the coffee or pouring the coffee into the glass underneath. So what we'll do is use the inverted method where you basically invert it while it's brewing, and then when you're ready to pour is when you push it down. So we'll use that method. So the ratios in the coffee, the recipe that I'm using calls for 210 grams of water to 14 grams of coffee. And the grind size, I'm going to do a finer, on the finer end, which is on my grinder at 4 or 3. I'm going to try 4 this time. So I usually brew between 5 and 7 on the pour over. So for this, it's going to be a little bit finer than that pour over range. So I'm going to go with 4 on the grinder. So here goes. I'm going to measure my coffee. Oh, and also the temperature of water is going to be about 205 degrees Fahrenheit or 96 degrees centigrade. So there we go. Measure 14 grams. goes. Alright, so that's 14 grams at the grind setting of 4, which is on the finer end. So it looks like. Now, I'll start this water, heat it to about 205. Alright, let's get that warmed up. I have pre-rinsed with water just to get some filter paper taste out of it. I don't know if it's really necessary for the AeroPress, but hey, I want to make sure that it doesn't get, there's no harm to doing it. So, so this is the pre-wet filter. All right, so let's pour the water. So I'm going to measure, make sure I pour the right amount of water. It's 210 grams of water at 205 Fahrenheit, which is 96 centigrade. I'll pour this in first. All right, 210 exactly. Now, I'm going to pour the 14 grams of coffee on top. Like so. And I'm going to use the stirrer to give 3 or 4 back and forths to mix the coffee. That's it. Put the filter cap back on. Now, put the glass and toss that out. See, there's barely much of liquid. There's still some leaks, I guess. A little bit is okay. So what I'm going to do is, it's almost exactly 1 minute right now. I'm going to just give it a little wiggle, just to knock any grounds that are stuck at the top there. Let me see. That's it. Let's give it a few swirls as well. At the 2 minute mark, I'm going to give it another little wiggle. Alright, I'm going to just plunge slowly. I'll actually use my timer here on my scale. Just using the weight of your hand and gravity, no need to do extra, no need to put any extra pressure. Anywhere between 45 to 60 seconds should be good for the plunge time. You should hear a little hiss when it's done. There you go. So just a little over a minute, but it's done. That's it, really. So if you can basically get your puck out, unplug the filter here. Just kind of continuing the plunge, push that out. There you go. So there you go. That's the coffee brewed with the inverted method using the AeroPress. Let's have a little taste. Nice. I really like it. I think it's a little bit muddy or subdued, if that's the right word, compared to my pour over. Now, I will probably try to tweak this recipe a little bit to see if I can get some slightly different taste. But at least it's a little bit easier to make than the pour over method. But you do get a little bit more out of the coffee and the pour over, I believe. So, but anyway, it's a very good result for the first brew. I'll keep experimenting and posting new videos. Until then, see you later.